Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd, and as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
After a sudden underwater tremor sets free scores of prehistoric man-eating fish, an unlikely group of strangers must band together to stop themselves from becoming fish food for the area's new razor-tooth residents.
The razor tooth in their Mesolithic era.
They don't even say piranha in the fucking description of this fucking movie.
Say fish.
How are they unlikely strangers if most of them are family?
No, I think they mean like Novak
the spring
and the
break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Novak and the cops, like the Julie Forrester, I guess.
Well, hi everybody. Welcome back to the Horror PSA. We watched Piranha this week.
3D.
This is starting off our March episodes. Where was I going?
Our Marchness. Our
Yes.
Marchy
Our Marchness. And into spring break we go.
Marchy March and the Funky
So
Bunch.
we watched Piranha 3D, and Saul pointed out that this apparently was produced by Harvey Weinstein, which makes so much sense.
I saw that as soon as they
sense.
started listing the credits in the beginning of it, when they have like the director, the whatchamacallit, the stars, and it's executive produced by Harvey Weinstein and his brother.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this
I mean, can you just imagine this coming across his desk and be like, yes, this movie.
I'm so there.
So into this movie.
The only name that I really noticed is Greg Nicoteros.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
I didn't notice his name, but I was like, oh, that's Greg at the end when he's just carrying a prop.
Well, yeah, I saw his name in the beginning, and I'm like, all right, I've seen most of this movie before.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he had anything to do with this. So I'm like, I know the CGI in this movie was like sci-fi level quality. Like I knew going in from what little bits that I saw.
This movie was on TV every now and then, and I had caught
I'm pretty
bits
sure
of
I
it.
saw it on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, and so when I had first seen it, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a sci-fi based off of the CGI alone. It was awesome.
That's right, because then we looked it up later. I'm like, no, it was actually theatrically released. Like, oh my god!
Yes, because as we were watching it, I was like, well, that's Jerry O'Connell, and I don't think he's in any sci-fi films. And I was like, that's Eli Roth. No, maybe this isn't a sci-fi film, but the CGI is very sci-fi worthy.
The CGI was sci-fi, very very sci-fi.
Yeah, it was really
but
bad.
the actual the practical stuff, like a lot of the wounds and a lot of the
and
the beach,
gore for
the
days.
beach scene, there was a lot of great work in there, and I think I'm like, all right, there's where Greg Nicotero put his 2 cents into everything.
Here's the thing that I'm noticing about Greg Nicotero. Because of The Walking Dead, I now know who he is, and when you go back and see a lot of horror movies and you see his name attached to it, then you know it's going to be good as far as the practical effects.
You definitely see his style in those horror movies. You're like,
you definitely
okay,
can.
like he's got a distinct style about his effects.
His
that
practical
you
work,
can always tell.
He has a style, and now, like I said, when you go back and see his name attached to a movie, you can definitely see, okay, yeah, that's definitely Greg Nicotero's style.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about his practical effects is he's always thinking about the anatomy. So there are always going to be practical effects that look too heavy or too don't fit right because of just that's human anatomy. We have to put something over. But Greg Nicotero thinks about it. He thinks about how it's going to look on, I think, and how it's going to transition into the scene. And so it doesn't look too bulky ever.
He has that style of, I got to put real practical life into this rather than making it look over the top fake.
I think for the beach massacre scene, definitely, but there were some scenes like the Jerry O'Connell, Derek Jones death. Like some of those,
those though.
Some of those that they had to do, like, all right, well, it has to look cheesy because there's no other way around it. Like, there's no way you're gonna have like his bottom half was completely skeleton and the top half is still there without making it look cheesy.
And I loved the skeletons with little chunks of flesh to it. I thought that was so ridiculous and over the top. But this whole fucking movie is ridiculous and over the top. This movie spent its entire budget, I think, on cameos and beach douches. Like, that was the total production budget. And maybe a little bit of practical.
I think some of those beach douches were just like, oh, this is spring break. Like,
did they have to supply their own clothes? Because those were some douchey beach douches.
And those guys are just... They're just dressed like that all the time, I think.
I was like, did somebody come out here and give every one of these people a douche haircut? Or
the only reason they probably had to pay...
Okay, you either need a trucker hat or a visor.
Or we're going to have to dye your hair blonde. You pick.
With spikes.
I love, like, in the beginning when the truck had hit the parking meter and You see Julie Forrester. I thought she was the sheriff, but I guess apparently not. Like she just does everything.
She's just a deputy or whatever it is.
So when she's talking to that one guy and like she goes to arrest him and all that, and like I'm like, oh, okay, standard spring break douche guy. Like that's what there's. Like, was that his character name? Maybe like something.
But in that scene, we learned we shouldn't fuck with Elizabeth Shue in this movie because Elizabeth Shue is gonna punch you in the face.
That she is.
I cannot look at her and not think of Karate Kid.
Really?
I think of Karate Kid first, and then Leaving Las Vegas second.
I don't really think of Elizabeth Shue ever.
Well,
No.
you just thought about her all last night and today.
Yeah.
So
Well.
You saw her movie.
Well, yeah, I was watching her movie, so it was Piranha 3D. I was about the task on hand. I don't know what the fuck you guys were doing.
no, I was doing a whole Karate Kid. Like, this is the long-awaited sequel. Like she left California, she's here now.
That's why she left Daniel.
Those are Daniel's kids, actually.
Those are Daniel's kids. Yep. I love how Jerry O'Connell is just like mega douche. Like that is his character, and he
does
plays it so well. Yeah,
he does. I'm always like on the fence about Jerry O'Connell. Like I kind of like him, and then I kind of don't. But I really loved his douche character, his douche work, basically.
Yeah, he's been in like, I mean, he was in Stand By Me.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Scream 2. So I mean, he's no stranger to horror.
He's a veteran actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
For
He'll do
sure. I
whatever
love
movie you
when
ask him to
he's
do.
like, we don't need sunscreen. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get cancer. We can fucking beat cancer. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, he was going to die anyway.
I don't need sunscreen. I need boobs.
I like that Jerry O'Connell made fun of Scientology and Tom Cruise specifically when he did that mock video of like that leaked Scientology video of Tom Cruise saying like how they can save people and this and that. And then when Jerry O'Connell did like the spoof of that, I was like, all right, I respect that. Like,
Yeah, he pops in and out of weird stuff like that, and that's why I think you're on the fence about him because like you don't see him a lot, and it's just random.
And you know what it is? I think it's because he's always his character's always kind of douchey.
Yeah,
and it's like he's good at it, and he's made probably millions of dollars playing douchey characters as an adult. So I'm like, more power to you,
right?
And I think that's why, like, he's probably a cool, regular dude in real life or whatever. But
is
like,
he still married to what's her face?
I thought he divorced her, didn't he?
Did he?
Was it?
Uncle
Romaine?
Jesse divorced her.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Uncle
what-
Jesse
okay, that's what it
divorced
was.
her.
I don't know. I don't know if they're still married.
Producer Kim.
Not that it really fucking matters.
I know it
Yeah,
really
it
doesn't.
matters.
But this movie,
I mean, we're talking about a movie that was made 10 years ago.
I know. This movie has so many cameos. I mean, besides Jerry O'Connell, you got anybody who was around to make this movie. I feel they were just like, "Oh, you're
Just
here.
ask
Come
people.
in."
Come here.
I really feel like it's not even the cameos because I feel like Ving Rhames kind of just phoned his whole character in until the very end when he had to like start, like killing things and all
Ving
that.
Rhames,
Like,
I'm
He
like,
seems like he does that in all his movies, though. He seemed like that in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. And
I'm fully convinced Ving Rhames just showed up for one day on set. He's like, "You get me for one day, and that's what I'm doing," and that's all he did, and then he left.
no, because like even in the beginning when they're going out on that little pier thing to go get the little rowboat or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's out there like, all right, well, it's over there, and he's like delivering the horrible exposition lines like they're sending someone, they're supposed to be here at 10. Like it was totally like he was like, I don't know, I'm gonna say the lines and we're gonna get through this fucking scene.
like I said, that's what he seems like to me. And most of any type of horror type movie that I've seen him in, it seems like he's just phoning it in. He's there for the paycheck, and then at the end, when he gets to do Ving Rhames, is when he actually cares.
It's a weird movie. Did anybody else feel like they shot a porn just for like it's a
It
porn
seemed
movie?
like it. It
It's
was
a
hidden.
porn movie.
This is another movie where you're like
It is like this is a porn movie just with cameos.
Like, okay, all right.
They filmed the two movies.
And stop with this camera and porn camera, come in and finish the scene. Great.
Yes, like I don't know this movie. I don't really know. This movie is a great time for gore.
Okay, you know what's
Yeah.
even funnier than this movie? I have to tell you if you go on IMDb and you look at the Parents Guide.
Oh,
you
dear
read,
Lord.
and you read about the sex and
Yeah,
the
those things
nudity.
are hilarious.
Some of these descriptions are so fucking hilarious. Like there's one here where it mentions you see labias and stuff like that.
Labias.
Like it's ridiculous.
They're getting scientific specifics.
Oh, hey, we only see I think one dick, and it's being eaten by a fish, right?
It's a sci-fi CGI dick.
Yeah.
The
it's a
thing that
sci-fi
was
CGI
funny
dick.
is Kim asked me what happens to Jerry O'Connell. I'm like, because I remember I had seen this movie before. Like the more we started watching, I
Kim was
like,
Kim was hoping they would eat his dick.
the thing that I was like,
that guy's
I
dick already.
was like, I've seen this movie, and the more it went on, I'm like, I have seen this movie because I'm like starting to think, okay, this is what happened. Okay, he was like, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
And then when she asked me, he's like, what happens to Jerry O'Connell? She asked me, does he die? I was like, yeah. He was like, how does he die? He gets his dick eaten.
Mm-hmm. He says it repeatedly, too. He makes it known that his dick was eaten.
This is how much of a douche he was. His dying words were wet t-shirt.
Yes. His whole
He's
character.
spitting up blood. He's like, wet t-shirt.
Yes, he's the king of the douches. Like,
What was the Girls Gone Wild guy's name?
Joe Francis. I
That
think
guy.
that's who he was trying
I'm
to
sure,
do.
yeah.
and I've met that dude actually.
They were the wild girls.
No, it was something else. It was like when the kid goes like I'm just getting wild or whatever. Like when they got stuck in the whole fucking rocks thing.
Yeah,
and
'cause-
Jake was like, "Oh, I'm just going a little wild here." But I'm like, all right, that would be cooler if you weren't such a like kind of a crybaby, Jake. Like
The cameraman.
that kid needed to sack up a lot earlier in this fucking movie.
I've
And
seen
get
the
his fucking
cameraman before.
haircut.
I forget
What
his
is his
name, but he
name?
was a comedian.
Paul Shear.
Paul Shear. He
There you
also
go.
has a podcast. It's called How Did This Get Made, where he talks about movies. And if they have not done Piranha 3D,
No, has anyone brought this up to them? You think they probably gets that email all the fucking time from
Paul Shear,
assholes?
if you guys want to do a crossover, let's do Piranha.
Yeah, we'll do it. We saw
I'm
it.
sure
You
he
were in
gets
it.
that
We have
email
questions.
from assholes like us who are just like, what you should do.
I'm sure, but it is a crime.
Hey,
if
in
he
his
has not done
defense,
it.
it's a fucking paycheck.
Oh no, more
I'm
power
sure
to
he
him.
got to hang out in Lake Havasu, probably decently warm weather.
I love how they didn't call it Lake Havasu. They called it
Lake
what?
Victoria.
Lake Victoria.
Yes, because I'm sure Lake Havasu didn't want to be promoted or associated with this kind of behavior.
Associated with this porn, this
I-
cameo
that's-
filled porn.
That's kind of hypocritical. That's what Lake Havasu's known for. So you don't want your name attached to that, even though you had, what is it, MTV go there for years and film their spring break shows for it.
Did
And,
they?
Yeah.
they did. Yeah, a few years.
They went there for
and then it
years.
was the all the flesh eating,
Oh
bacteria
yeah,
and shit.
that
so
was
they-
eating brains. It was the
they
brain
went-
eating
it's
amoebas. That's what it was. Yeah.
too. That's right. Okay. This is one of the parents' guides descriptions, I guess we'll call it.
Okay.
The underwater sequence with Kelly Brook and Riley Steele is extremely explicit for an R-rated movie. Both girls show full frontal nudity, including their genitals, for 3 minutes. So somebody had to time this, right?
Somebody sat there with a
There are
stopwatch.
multiple clear shots of shaven genitals, sometimes showing their labia, especially Riley, who gives multiple shots of her genital area in graphic detail. The scene basically shows every inch of the nude's female form. And I have to read it in that kind of tone because that's just how it's written.
Here's the thing about it. I know we didn't have a name for them back then, but that's
They're called
totally
labias.
No.
They've had a name for them all
I know.
along.
I know that,
so-
but
I'm gonna
the
draw you a
person who wrote
diagram
that, the
later.
person who wrote that, we didn't have names for those back then.
It's
But that
upside
solely
down.
sounds to me like a Karen.
Oh, that's a Karen.
That's a Karen writing that.
And Karen, girl, you need some help. If you're sitting there with the stopwatch on labia check, you need to talk to somebody.
labia check 12. Ladies, have you checked your labias?
I mean, that was intense. I'm scared for
That was just
Karen.
one of the many
was just-
that are on here.
See, that's the thing that's funny though. They say that and they make you think that all they're doing is just zooming in on that for
And-
3 minutes.
No, it's double creepy. Like, okay, this movie is
There were
explicit.
3
I'm telling you,
minutes
it's
of
a
labia.
Karen.
I'm more concerned about them than the person who came up with this movie.
It's a Karen. They
that
have
is-
nothing better to do with their lives than
that is
to treat.
obsessively creepy.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a Karen. She's got nothing better to do. Her kids are off at school and she needs to watch movies that she's going to hate and have issues with.
I've
This
got to
is
sit
true.
in my room and watch this filthy movie so I know exactly how many minutes of labia is in there. So you kids stay out of here.
As
So I
a-
can make a point.
I also have a horror PSA for this week, guys. There was that guy that was rock jumping into Lake Victoria, quote unquote, and then he gets eaten by piranhas. First of all, you do not lake jump by yourself, right? You take friends.
Was he by himself?
He
Yeah,
was
he
the
was by
only one
himself.
there, and then he gets eaten, and nobody knows
Yeah,
because
that's
nobody
right.
is there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
nobody's there.
is this guy rock jumping by himself?
I know who. Okay. Who goes to fucking spring break to? We'll just say Lake Havasu because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So who goes to spring break Lake Havasu just to go off by yourself to go like
To go jump
in
off
the
some
rock?
rocks,
It's-
yeah.
Maybe he's like
Someone
a
with
diver,
no
so he's like, I
friends.
got to practice at least a couple times while I'm on spring break.
But
blah,
even
blah,
that,
blah.
I'm like, you're jumping from high. Like, just don't be dumb, kids. Have a spotter.
Why would you even rock jump? I don't even think any of that seems like fun.
You go in there and you swim around and see like, all right, there's no rocks here. I can jump. It's deep enough. I can go up there.
No, don't be dumb.
I've
kids.
never gotten the point of rock jumping. I don't see it. It doesn't look like fun.
Or he's done it before. He knows.
Water hurts when you hit it.
It does. It really does.
You got to hit it the right way.
I'm just old.
Still, though,
I ain't climbing up shit and jumping off shit anymore.
None of us are streamlined enough to dive and not have it hurt, okay?
We're all flopping around. Yep. That's why it hurts.
My boobs will hit the water and it's over.
I will say, okay,
Like,
I knew what this movie was going in. I've seen this movie. I knew tits and ass. That's a big theme in this movie.
Kim didn't know that, and I was laughing.
Were you shocked, Kim? Like at what point were you like, oh my God, this is what it's going to be like the whole movie?
All the parts.
When I started writing down notes,
Yes.
not paying attention.
She zoned out for it. She was over all the nudity.
Too much tits for you?
Too much CGI.
Oh, yeah, the CGI is bad. But I will say one part where I was like, okay, that's gross, is the whole underage thing. They kept bringing it up at points.
Yeah.
I was like, at one point, the girl's like, leave her alone. She's not even legal. I was like, what the fuck? Well, and then they make out later. And I was like, that is a child. Why are we doing that?
Wait, I thought this girl was in college, though.
She's 17.
How was she 17?
It seemed like they were in high school.
Because that's what the kid said. That's how old the kid said he was.
But this is what I thought. Like, she seemed like she was a year older or something. Like, he was a senior and she'd gone off to college or something. Because she was like, oh, I don't know if you were coming back for spring break.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe she's like 18.
I just kind of assumed that, she was just back from college. Like, that's with her hometown or whatever.
Either way, they were giving her alcohol when she was not of age.
They were.
Oh, look
weird.
at you two fucking Karens now saying, oh,
I'm not being a Karen. I'm just saying that you can't do that.
I'm not talking about alcohol. No, they were trying to bang that child.
They were.
My issue. They were trying to get her drunk to bang her.
No, you get a few drinks, you lower inhibitions, she makes a video, you sign a waiver, and that's how these videos are made.
Creepy and gross. And now we understand why Weinstein was like, sign off on this, approved.
Yes, now we know. It makes perfect sense.
Big red stamp, approved. So as dudes, the underwater porn. Dudes.
Why?
Do the flippers turn you off or are you good?
Flippers?
I didn't
see no flippers.
Well,
you know how much I was paying attention.
Apparently not.
You answered your own question right there.
Saul didn't even notice the flippers. He was like,
you answered your own question right there. I didn't know there were any.
I noticed them, and at first I was just kind of like, that's kind of funny. Like, they're trying to shoot this like porn thing and all that, and it's like we have to
swim,
have to, be able to move in the water or whatever. So, you need the flippers. I mean, it's a necessity for the shoot. So it's safety equipment really for the what did I called it synchronized scissoring is what I called that scene.
I want to know how long they had to hold their breath for that. Because I know my lung capacity is not the greatest, but these two girls have been under the water for quite a while.
Well, and their boobs weren't real, so it's extra lung capacity.
Well, and I get the whole prettiness of the porn, but I'm like, who wants to bone under the water?
It doesn't look like fun.
It doesn't look like fun. You can't breathe. Like,
That's what I'm saying. You're already extenuating yourself, and then
I don't know. I guess people don't watch porn for the reality of the situation.
And the people that are watching porn, they're like, well, that's just not practical.
That's not practical.
Like, maybe you're watching the wrong porn then. Like, well, you know how freezing they would be down there? Their nipples aren't even hard.
Oh, and I love how sometimes the lake was like super murky and disgusting, and other times it was crystal clear and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no
Well, some parts were more of a dumping ground than other parts, apparently.
Like,
well, that's why they had to go
when they're doing
there.
The swim porn, like the bottom's crystal clear.
Well, that's why they had to hire
down.
young Jake to like show us a spot where we can go down and film the crystal
he knew
clear
those
water
spots.
porn. He was
I
like,
guess.
If you're filming porn, I'll take you over here then.
Oh, and can we talk about the money shot that they were talking about? So the swim
the
porn,
parasailing
yes,
one?
the swim porn wasn't even what Jerry O'Connell's character had spent his money on. It was the parasailing pair of tits in the sky.
See, I don't even know. Like, I kind of took that as like those people were just out doing that. Like, I don't even know if they were part of his group or
Yeah, and then he
seem
was
like
like,
they
"Get the
were.
money shot, get the money," and I was like, "Why?
You missed it!"
Why is he yelling all of a sudden? Like,
because you missed the.
and is that what people want to see? Like. If you're
I know,
gonna watch
just
something to beat off
nudity
to,
in
right?
the air.
Even seeing it in the movie, I'm like, there's nothing sexy about this at all.
She
Like,
doesn't look comfortable.
I'm like, hey, free spirit, do you, girl? You know, flying up there. I bet the breeze is wonderful. Who knows? But what's the point?
I've
I guess
seen-
my
I've seen
my
a video
question.
of a woman skydiving topless, and the air rushing. I'm like, it makes your boobs look weird. Like they go into like weird shapes.
It would go inverted, wouldn't it? Like it
Well,
cups
she didn't-
into you.
Yeah,
I
it
would
would
feel.
Well, she didn't have very big boobs, so they kind of made like weird cups. Like the air was just so they just made like look like weird like inverted
Yeah.
boobs, basically. Like,
So what's the point? I guess is my question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it was just like an empowering thing. Like I'm gonna fucking do this, and I'm wearing a bra while I do it. I don't know.
I don't.
It's a woman thing.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
associate anything with this movie as empowering.
I'm not. Oh, you mean the movie or the skydiving video?
Any of
I'm like,
anything.
for that lady, maybe it was empowering. but
Anything in this movie was not empowering.
It was
in any way.
empowering to the piranhas that were.
Yes.
Was it mesothelial?
It's the
What was it?
Mesolithic era.
Mesolithic.
Mesolithic.
I'm a Mesolithic.
Mesolithic. Mesolithic.
Mesolithic.
Yes. I wrote it down.
Mesolithic.
So they're Mesolithic era fish. They're the first piranha.
I loved how that sign that said it on the fence, and I'm like, why would you go to that much trouble when making this stupid sign that it's the Mesolithic?
They had the
dig
budget
sign,
for
because
it.
it's exposition sign is what it is.
Yeah.
Because Ving Ring's like, I'm not saying that shit.
I can't
either.
say that.
I'm not saying Meso.
Too many
Fuck
big
you.
words. I can't say it.
I'm here to kill some fucking piranhas at the end of this goddamn.
Oh, and then they started taking shots out of the belly buttons, and I was like, I do not trust anybody enough to clean their belly button well enough for me to drink out of it. I ain't drinking out of anybody's belly button.
I just kept thinking like half of it's pouring out. Like you're just wasting all this.
No,
tequila.
I'm like, you don't know when the last time they got in their belly button and cleaned it out.
They were just in the water, Angie.
Okay, so they have lake in their belly button? That's
yeah,
not
and you
appealing
know what?
either.
Saw people like you pee in there, so gross.
Brain
I
eating
said I would
amoebas
pee-
were in that lake.
in the ocean, not
So
a
you wouldn't
lake.
pee in the lake?
No.
That
So
the
you
whole
would pee
lake
in the
before it was
ocean,
blood
right?
was full pee. That's what that was. They were
It's
shooting all
pee
day.
in,
Those extras were just fucking pissing in
It's
that
pee
lake.
and Coors Light, which
No,
basically tastes the
it's the
same.
beast.
I would imagine.
The
No.
beast.
No, it's no spring breakers will drink Coors Light. The douchey dudes that were there, they're Coors Light drinkers.
Okay, let's get in. Do you want to get into the cameos? or
Let's
do we
get
gotta-
into the cameos. We can start with the first one, Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay, so the
I
one
love that he was singing the song. from
Oh
Jaws.
yeah, the Jaws
And it
song.
was kind of like, ha 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 ha.
But then I was like, the CGI for me. I was like, no, this is where that cameo is. No.
yeah, that was so bad.
That's why they're like, we'll give you, $50,000 for 1 day's work, and it's like, I have to do what? Oh, okay.
I got a fish. That's it.
Yeah, you're gonna swing me around on this couch?
As a scary nerd, I always want cameos that call back to previous movies that I love. But in that, no. in a terrible
everything-
CGI world.
And all of this starts because he dropped a beer bottle and it hit the ground, and that was the straw that broke the
That was
Earth's
the
back.
straw
It
that
was
broke
like, all
the
right,
Earth.
there's just
That
too
was
much
my
shit
issue.
in here now.
That was my
I'm
issue.
just gonna open up now. Fuck you all.
Mm-hmm.
That was my issue. He spills his beer into that, which causes an earthquake, which lets all the piranha out.
It's like,
All the original piranhas. This is the OG piranha, says Christopher Lloyd.
So they have that whole explanation about, he's like, oh, they were from underground, blah, blah, underground lake or some shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would have not seen sunlight. So how would they have just been able to come out and be okay? Like,
Oh, yeah.
There would have been no way. Like,
Because they would have evolved into not being able to see.
yeah.
They would have
been
adapted
those
to their
complete,
environment.
Like,
Yeah, it was a completely secluded cave.
Yeah.
So there would have been no
but then
light.
later when that other douche goes in there, like there's sunlight coming through there. I'm like,
Was there? I thought
yeah,
that was
there was
Yeah,
a
he says
shot.
there's sunlight.
There was a shot where like there was sunlight. You could see like through it, like the rays of sunlight in the water. And that guy wore a sleeveless scuba.
Yeah.
What's it called? The
Suit?
the wetsuit.
the wetsuit. Yeah,
Yeah.
the sleeveless wetsuit. I'm like, wow, what a douche. Like he was the perfect like.
Oh, they douched
douche guy.
everybody up in this
Like, because even he
movie.
came back and he had those pom poms. He's like, yeah, like we're gonna
Even
go.
Adam
like,
Scott character, he was like with the glasses where his putting them around his ears. I'm like,
Douche
he's uber
attributes.
nerd.
It was so funny to see him in the whole beach massacre scene.
jet ski.
When he was trying to be like an action star. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Adam Scott?
Get on.
He's like, I'm going to pull you to the shore. I'm like, you are going to run somebody over because you have never been on a fucking jet ski, you fucking nerd. Ben Wyatt.
Ben Wyatt. Benji Wyatt. Benji Wyatt's not saving anybody from piranhas. And when Ving Rhames and like the other police go back to the douches and they're like, get out of the water. Did anybody else like the police need to be more forceful? They need
He
to
was
be,
being forceful. He started shooting his gun in the
shot
air.
once and
No,
he
he shot
was
one.
like,
He shot twice, I believe.
did he? Okay, well he shot not enough times because then they just go back to partying. It's like, no, you gotta shoot more and be like, no.
No, like, I think he should have just shot someone and be like, all right, I'm going to pick one. Oh, fuck you, man. Like,
And I was like, why wouldn't you just be like, something spilled in the water, you guys are gonna get herpes. Get
They
out of the
wouldn't have cared.
get out of
they're
the
like,
water.
no,
wouldn't have
because
cared. It's college kids. They, you know,
half
yeah.
of that crowd would be like, I've already taken my Valtrex. I'm
Oh
good.
no,
Like,
guys, there's herpes.
It's like, I'm already on my antibiotics. We're good.
no, just me. No, okay.
Well, it burns when I pee. What's that, BD? Oh, I got that too. We're good.
What? Well, it already hurts. I don't care.
That's what actually killed the piranha with all that hot pee they were swimming in to get to the people.
The hot herpes pee.
Yes.
The hot
we see-
herpes pee and
The spring breakers infected the piranhas.
the hot herpes pee and the synchronized swimming discharge. Too much
It's
for
like that- I don't know. That's just wrong.
Discharge. Moist.
Okay, so we got the Richard
It's a good-
Dreyfuss cameo.
Good.
oozing.
Yeah.
And then we get the next cameo, which is Christopher
Salt's
Lloyd.
just plowing through this whole uterus juice talk we got going on.
UJ.
I'm trying to get us back on track. You say how me and Paul get off track all the time.
I just like watching you squirm when
Nice
some
warm-
people
I'm
say
paying attention to
discharge.
Nice warm glass
I'm not
of
paying
uterus
attention.
juice
Uterus juice. Nice glass of UJ.
Okay.
with your pancakes.
You can drink
With
it
your pancakes.
with your pancakes. That's fine. Side of eggs and bacon.
Well, that's too far. I
That's
don't know.
Why are you gonna ruin bacon?
Police need to be more forceful. They need to be like, get the fuck out of the water.
He should have yelled blue waffle, right?
You could have. That would have gotten people out of there.
There's a blue waffle coming, guys. Get out. Ah! And I love, they're the extras in this. There are some, if you look through the crowd, I'm like, that guy is on, maybe it's Molly that he's on. 'Cause he's rave dancing right now in there.
There was one guy that I pointed out. I'm like, wait, he's just like doing this weird, like he's just moving his shoulder like one side and the other. I'm like, what
I'm
are you
convinced
doing?
this
Like,
movie, they just got a bunch of extras, gave him douchey clothes, a pack of
I don't
Coors
even
Light,
think
and a
they
bag of
need douchey
drugs,
clothes.
and then they just sent them out
had
into the
all
thing.
of these clothes.
They had the clothes. You didn't need to give them to them
I did
You
love
tell
the
them you could do-
protesters with their read the Bible sign.
Yeah,
because you have to have
do
them.
that
Yes.
somewhere else.
I know Ving Rhames like, don't talk about faith with me. Just get the fuck out of the water.
Get the fuck out of the lake.
And after they wouldn't listen to him, be like, fine, fuck you guys, get eaten.
Well, that whole scene too. That's where we get our other cameo of Eli Roth, who was playing the DJ.
Who also, I'm like, I don't know, like. I'm just convinced he's that douchey. Either he was just that good at doing it, or he really is just that douchey.
I think he plays it up because the movie.
I mean, he definitely plays it up. But I mean, so I don't know. He was just really good at it. So I'm like,
I just want to
I
know,
fucking hate you. Like, I'm glad you died. Like,
why?
Why?
was he involved in this movie at all? Like, did we look that up?
I don't think so. He was just had a
Producer,
cameo in it.
Like, just like maybe
just
he was
feel like-
friends with the director or something. I don't know.
There's so, okay, I guess my why question attributes to this. There are so many other projects that could have got made. But
You mean why?
Figured it only is going to take
You
him like a
mean
day,
why
day
was
and a half.
he in here, or why was this movie at all? Like,
why this movie was at all?
oh, I thought you meant like why Eli Roth specifically.
Because you know this movie got made and somebody else's didn't, right?
But, well, okay, but
That's what I
It's
think about.
Weinstein.
And I'm
That's what you
like,
got to think about.
But it obviously made money if they made another one after this.
It's Weinstein.
They
Do you
spent
really
no
need-
money on it. They gave people
Okay.
free booze and drugs and
Yeah.
shot what happened.
Okay.
You're answering your own question right there.
So,
it's
yeah,
Harvey
and
Weinstein.
it's probably less than Weinstein spends on a party at his house. So.
Ugh.
He figured, okay, I can totally justify this because now we know what he does. and
Discharge.
That's okay. He's going to jail.
Hopefully.
It's prison.
Prison.
Big
That's
difference.
right.
Hopefully. So here's funny about the cameo parts is when I told Kim that Christopher Lloyd was in it, and she didn't believe me. I'm like, no, he's in it. was like, I just didn't remember what he played. And then we get to the part where they catch one of the piranha. And what do they need to do? They need to take it to somewhere.
To the pet shop owner.
They take it to the pet shop.
The pet shop owner that apparently knows way too much about mesothelioma
Hey.
and fucking
Mesothelioma.
and piranhas.
Mesolithic, Paul.
That's what I said.
I'm going to go with that.
Hey, as a fellow
the
person,
mesothelioma era of piranha
Hey.
evolution. Yeah.
as someone who has a graduate
No, I
degree in
don't-
history and podcasts is my full-time
You're
job.
not.
I was about to say,
You're not a.
I would just like to say that yes, as fellow historians have to have day jobs, okay?
I
You're
thought
not a piranhaologist.
I thought you were going to
So-
say you had someone with mesothelioma.
No. Yeah, do the whole little spiel about mesothelioma.
It'd be like, quit making fun of it.
Mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma.
I thought you were going to say that, but like, you took it in a
No,
different way.
we have to have day jobs, all right? The history, the humanities
Obviously,
don't
this
pay,
dude-
okay?
Well,
Obviously,
when
he
you
doesn't
okay,
have a pet
all right.
shop.
Well, when you study fucking ancient piranhas that have gone extinct 2 million years ago, what the fuck do you expect when you graduate, huh?
Well, all right, fair is fair.
I mean, I get it. It was probably like the 50s or 60s, for his age or whatever.
It was probably fucking free too. So.
Yeah, and he was like, well, I think
Damn free college.
they told us to study what you wanted to learn about.
But yes, he has all the answers about the first piranhas in
Yeah.
existence.
And also, I have this book specifically on them.
Specifically,
I've been waiting for this.
And if they've gone extinct for 2 million years, how is there a very detailed sketch in that fucking book that he has that it's like, oh my god, it looks exactly like this?
He had
And
the
why didn't the
rock.
fucking book tell him at the end? Why did at the end he's like, this has no genitals?
well, because I think
again more
they were
genital
studying.
talk. Where's
he
that,
was
Karen?
he was studying the fish, and I don't know how you
Where
search a fish for genitals. I have no clue.
you
I
got
don't know either.
flip it up and
He knows.
You-
He
you
has a
lift up-
bunch of fish, so that makes
he
him
owns a
expert.
pet store. He knows
Yeah.
where to find the genitals
I
of every
guess.
animal that's in there.
I guess. I love he's another one that showed up for a day and it's like, you got me for a day, I'll wear a robe and that's all you get.
Yeah, I'm not getting dressed.
I'm rolling out of the hotel room, showing up like this, and that's what you get.
I convinced everybody that was their cameos. They showed up for a day and they were like, this is how long you got me for. Get me out of here.
It's like, I need to be in LA.
Elizabeth Shue is the only one they paid full time.
Like, I need to be in LA. Like, can you stop here for a day? I guess I can stop there. And
I'm
that's how
on
they
my
get
way
there.
back from something. I can stop there for a day. And
Yes, exactly.
That's what it was. That's how they got these people to do it.
These piranhas are old and dead. Thanks for the call.
They don't have any sex organs.
I don't find a penis. What?
A penis? Do fish have penis?
Probably. No, they don't.
I don't
Because
know.
they
what
lay
to do.
eggs.
Yeah, but who fucks the egg to get the the fish
they
gotta
don't.
fuck the egg. They
I
gotta
don't
like,
know. I didn't study ancient fish in my degree, so I don't know.
They have like a sucker thing they attach to the egg and just like
Makes
I don't think they
sense.
do. I think the
Discharge.
female fish lays the eggs, and then the dude fish sprays them.
somebody's got to fertilize it.
Yeah.
the dude, he sprays them.
What does the dude spray it with?
Whatever he sprays stuff
Fish
with.
dick.
Fish stick. That sounds like a lunch that nobody wants.
It's that whole South Park.
It's like a
Fish
fish
nest.
stick, but fish stick.
That's what he said. He said fish stick.
I know.
Yeah. So fish dicks gotta get it up and fertilize the eggs. Basically just fucking egg.
Yeah.
You fuck this big soft ball. Like a beach ball.
Well, it's a good thing we're not fish.
Somebody email Paul and let him know the intricacies
Horrible.
of fish
yeah,
sex.
because people that study fish and shit are going to listen to our fucking podcast.
You don't
You don't know that?
I do, yeah. Well,
Or somebody might
what?
know.
If you're bored in your aquarium job or whatever, give
Your
us a listen.
aquarium job.
Because that's what you get to do after you graduate. You work in a fucking aquarium.
I will say that this whole movie, right, full of douches and
Douche
Porn
and gore.
stars.
Douche and gore.
douche gore and porn stars, they
Douche
did
gore
make
porn.
fun of all of them.
Yeah, they did.
Like the floating implants. So
Douche gore
it's
porn.
like, that's funny. You know, that's
I
making
forgot
fun
about
of-
that and which one it was. I'm like, I know it's going to come soon. And then when I saw him, I'm like, oh, there it is.
They look like jellyfish.
That's why they stayed away from like, oh shit.
That's the only thing the
Jellyfish.
piranha didn't want to eat is they didn't want to eat the
I
implants.
want to get stung by that.
And I did like when the piranhas ate everybody. Like everybody.
Forever, ever.
Forever. But yeah, that whole beach scene, the whole massacre, when the piranhas just come to
and that's too.
fucking
I think
kill
Greg
everyone.
Nicotero worked on just that scene in this movie. It was
Oh, yeah.
like, all right,
And
everybody
if
else
he
can handle
did,
everything else.
like-
yeah,
The gore in the scene,
well worth it.
phenomenal.
I was a little upset that there was not more blood in the water, though.
Oh yeah,
I wanted the blood, like even when
in the water.
I don't know, even when the scenes where like the piranhas just like fucking came at someone and just devoured them within minutes, I'm like, I want more blood. I'm not satisfied.
I hated the underwater ones where they like whirlpool around them. They tornadoed around them. They just eating them. I was like, it's so bad CGI.
The thing that I love
The
about
first whirlpool in
yeah.
the beginning of the movie was terrible.
Yeah,
The
but
thing
I'm
that I
talking
love-
about when at the beach scene when because there's one shot where they take a girl under the water and
that's what I was going to talk
swirl-
about.
Yeah.
That's what led up to it, because you could see them swimming there and they're trying to get everybody out of there. And what pretty much kicks everything off is they bite her in the ass and they pull her in the water.
Oh, that one where she got like piranha Gaddafi's. I was like, oh, what a horrible way to go. Like that was the one I was like, you poor girl. Like everyone else was like, ha, you deserve to die.
'Cause she was just chilling.
Derek, you're a douche.
She was just chilling in her little donut.
I know,
floaty
like
thing.
she looked like a nice girl. Like she wasn't even there to flash her boobs. She just
No,
wanted to have a good
she was
time.
just chilling
Like,
out.
she got Gaddafi in the ass.
She got
did.
bit in the ass and they.
Well, the other chick, the implant chick, I was like, when she spits the piranha out, right? Because she's underwater, and like she spits the piranha
No, the
out.
piranha ate
Yeah,
its way
it came
out.
out
Yeah.
of
She
her
didn't
mouth.
spit it out.
But I was like, how long before you're just dead? I mean, if the piranha is inside of you, I mean, there's
I
so
would
much
imagine
damage.
that- I took it that she was dead already when that happened.
Well, like she was still making faces and like
It wasn't. She wasn't making faces. The piranha was moving inside her.
Piranha's puppeteering her.
I hope so. Then they take Jerry O'Connell's penis. They take his penis and then they eat his penis. And then
And
they
spit it back out.
Just so we know we've had one penis in this whole movie.
Tasted like herpes.
What were the notes in that on IMDb?
Lots of labia. Only one penis.
Lots
Just
of
one.
penis?
We'll have to look that up. I don't know.
Is that what the Karen wrote? Lots of penis?
But to be fair, it's not like women are out there being like, show me that dick. Nobody wants to
Show
see
me that
penises.
piranha dick.
Penises aren't that pretty, guys. Sorry.
Well, it was funny how everything after that, people didn't believe him before. Now they're freaking out. And I wish Ring Rames would have just yelled out. I was like, see, motherfuckers, I told you
Oh,
should
I
have gotten
know.
out of the fucking water.
I know. And then his whole like boat motor thing, just chopping the piranhas down.
I loved how he was shooting the
He
shotgun.
motorboated the piranhas.
He motorboated
Yes, he did.
piranhas. He did.
Motorboat.
I loved how he was just getting the shotgun and just shooting him in the water. Like, I
No,
don't
like
know.
get out of the
Yes.
water.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even like take that thing and slowly walk back up the shore while you're killing them? So, like, why are you going to sacrifice yourself for these douchey spring breakers?
Right?
Yeah, it just didn't
I'm
make
sorry. I've been like, well, I just quit then. So
Right.
we told you to get out of the fucking water.
But like, those fuckers didn't listen to me.
None
That's
of
what
you
they get.
listened.
I love how one of the cops at the end of everything is like climbing onto the beach and his little nub of a leg is just
Yeah.
there.
Just
like
like,
if-
the bare bone.
Yeah,
or
that
whatever,
bare
like,
bone
you're
with
like,
some meat on it. Like it's just right there on his
you
leg.
think-
I was like, oh,
you
that's
probably
ridiculous.
couldn't even walk on that.
No.
because like, there's no
Ugh.
tendons
muscle,
to
there's
like,
nothing.
yeah, like there's
There's
nothing
nothing.
to like move everything. So like your bones just dangling. Like,
I thought it was so ridiculous and stupid that I loved the little meat chunks attached to the skeleton. It's so stupid.
it's
so
that
ridiculous.
attention to detail.
Yes.
That's where Nicotero shines, because he made all of those skeletons and everything look.
It's not even that. It's like even the some of the people that had wounds on them.
Oh yeah, the
yeah.
wounds
like
were
we're just
so
sitting there,
good.
like when she was like trying to like the one guy in the boat that had like that gash by his like.
I know it's
collarbone.
almost like the wounds were much better than this movie. Actually,
Yeah, like
They were.
the massacre scene was like the highlight of the movie.
Yes,
'cause
it was.
You see that dude with his back all chewed up with parts of it missing.
And that when the boat or when the barge breaks and they get the half of that woman.
Yeah. The cable kill.
Yeah, the
That
cable
was-
kill.
Like, whoosh, and she was like, you knew it was gonna happen, and it was like it took a half second extra. I'm like, all right, come on, just give it to me now, goddamn. You know
it
it's gonna
reminded
slide
me
off.
of a Final Destination kill, where you knew it was coming, and then when you see it happen, you just kind of see there, and then all of a sudden,
Oh, this movie is like an ode to Final Destination. Like the fucking earthquake happens because the beer bottle falls.
It was like a very long episode of like what was that show 1,000 Ways to Die?
1,000
Yeah.
Ways to
Remember that
1,000 Ways
one?
to Die.
Like it was like because
Hey,
it was always like
The
douchey
CGI
reenactments.
people
or, like,
probably were the same companies.
There has to be like a sci-fi level CGI company. It's
Yes.
like we know what we are, and
Yes.
you know what you are.
You
That's
can
why
come
you
to
come to
us.
us.
You know
And
what
we'll
you
do
get.
this.
We are the cheapest for a reason.
we're not the best,
But
But
hey,
we're
We do what we do
basic
for the
cable
price that
quality.
you're willing to pay.
everybody needs that guy, right?
Hey, I mean, there's
Somebody's
people-
got to be that guy. So
It's like, and it's not even the same company. It's like every 2 weeks or fucking there's a new company.
they
that's
changed
like-
their name
They changed the name. Well, we're this now.
under new management.
It's not even that. I was like, new people graduate film school all the time. Sounds like they start their own fucking
Right?
company.
There you
Like,
go.
well, if you're willing to pay that for this shit, I could do that. Fucking it's my sleep.
It's the graduating class of whatever that does it.
This movie though was so chopped together and so stupid, but they tried to put a love story in it about some kids. I don't know why.
I know. Like, what was that whole fucking backstory? And like, it does it even pay off at the end? Like,
No.
We're not
Like-
even sure why they know each other or who they
I
are.
know.
each
Like,
other.
was there a whole half of this movie that was missing before all this shit
Gotta
happened?
be.
Because he just rolls through his fucking like on his scooter. Of all, I'm like, dude, how are you ever gonna get laid on a fucking?
Because she was a
scooter? Like,
dick to him and went off with those douches who got his comeuppance by taking off in that stupid boat.
Oh, that boat scene though, when he takes off and her hair gets stuck.
the face rip-off, yeah.
The face rip off
It
was
was good.
so good.
That was
I was
good.
like,
The thing that I
yes.
thought that was funny is the guy when he got in the boat and he's yelling people to get the fuck out of the way. I'm like, you have a boat right behind you.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of shit going on. They're not going to hear your dumb ass.
No,
And he got his comeuppance.
he did. He was a douche.
But yeah,
well,
her-
they were all
So what was?
douches.
So yeah, what was the point of the whole love
There wasn't
triangle?
a
because
point.
she went off with them, and then all of a sudden she goes on the boat, and then
But,
all of a
like,
sudden,
even at the end when he saves her and they did that whole like, I'm like, okay, that was impractical as shit.
I love how she was getting pissed off at him that it was taking him that long to open up that little sunroof thing because she was trying to. get
Yeah,
out.
she was just like
She was getting
like,
pissed.
She was. She's like,
"You're
it's
the
fucking
bitch."
stuck.
Like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
What did you call her? Like, hi Julie, we already fucking tried it. And I'm like, no one told you to get on the fucking boat. In fact, I told you not to get on the boat.
This is your fault.
Fuck you, Jake.
See, they're children. Why are they on this boat? This is
Because he was looking to make some cash money that day.
Weinstein.
He was the
Weinstein
whatchamacallit.
wrote this character in. This is what happened.
He was the location scout.
They don't even explain why he was like kind of grounded or whatever.
No, he was watching his sibling,
Yeah, I know he
He
was,
was supposed to. He
but
was supposed to babysit him.
but
and
he
then he
wasn't
got in
grounded. I think he
I
was
don't know. They
just.
kind of made it seem like he was grounded. Like he said something to her, to the girl Kelly in the beginning that made it seem like he was grounded, but then it was just the babysitting thing, I guess.
Are you grounded at 17?
I don't know.
Probably.
Like, fuck you.
Well,
You're still under that
when your
house.
mom's the sheriff or whatever.
I guess.
or
I loved how she kept
deputy.
walking in on him when he was trying to watch that porn.
I wanted one more time, actually. I wanted
Yeah.
it to wait like just an extra 2 minutes.
I
and then
saw
come
that
back.
setup and I was
And just
like,
be like, yeah, and just be
I
like,
was
I know
why
you're
is
looking
your
at porn.
computer facing the doorway? This is a
Well, this
is a
rookie
rookie.
fucking
Yeah,
move.
like, I
He
wanted
was
her
a
to-
rookie move.
I wanted her to come back a third time and just be like, oh, by the way, stop looking at porn.
Hey, put your dick away. It's time for dinner.
Mom, my dick is out.
He did have that binder on top of
He
himself
probably
every
did.
time he stood up.
The 3 whole punches with my dick.
And it scares you so much you gotta stand up real quick. Somebody
know.
walks in.
That's the last thing you want to do if somebody walks in on you is stand up.
You tuck it in your band. You're good.
Just wait,
Oh, now
Angie.
we've got Angie.
Just
I
wait,
pictured
Angie.
it. I pictured
Just
it.
wait,
It's
Angie.
a little mushroom poking out the top.
No, it's an enraged mushroom at that.
It's angry.
Again,
veiny.
penises are pretty.
Angry.
This is why
Angry
we
and
only want
veiny.
to see them get eaten because it's funny.
And he's waiting to throw up.
Yeah, I want to see it get eaten too, baby. Okay, they have the whole the parasailing boat, and they have the rope tied to the rail, and that's where everyone's fucking
Scooped
doing
out.
the fucking like rope.
Oh, the
crawl
rope climb,
thing.
yeah.
And I love when the one hooker was like, I don't pole dance for nothing or whatever, and she's like, you have some explaining to do, and I'm like, damn, like that was that mom coming.
Oh yeah,
out of
she
her,
looks
like,
at him, and I was just like, if that was me, I'd be like, not now, later,
Yeah.
later,
I'm
okay,
like,
I
Let's
get
get
it.
on the boat and safe haven first before you yell at me.
You
Like,
are
I mean,
never leaving
He
the house.
had that look that every kid has, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I
I
just
Fair.
can't lie.
later,
Fair
later,
enough.
yep.
I'll explain later,
Let's
Mom.
play later. I know I'm fucked, all right, just not right now.
And you knew she was doomed when she didn't pull her hair up because I'm like, those piranha are going to jump up and grab you by the hair, lady.
I know she's like, I didn't pull dance for nothing, and then she immediately fucking dies.
Yeah. Well,
If you didn't pull down for nothing,
that's
she
why.
knows that her
That's
hair
why
gets
she
in the way.
told. That's why she told her to go first. She's like, all right, well, shit goes south. You go first, and then the kids will go, and then I'll go. It's the whole put your own mask on first before you help your children.
Yeah. And I love how his whole plan to save his girlfriend, right, was to throw Derek into the water. So
that's a good plan.
It
though.
was a
Yeah.
good plan, but like he's like, I gave them a snack. I'm like, listen, fucker, they ate a whole dude in like
like
3.5
I'm like
seconds.
they ate the other half of him like within a few minutes.
Yeah.
So
you
like
guys
how
took
much
way
do you
too
think?
much
Yeah,
time.
there's
Like,
no way this is buying you any time.
no.
Like, and there's not even that. Like that rope when he was pulling it, to make it tight or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, like the kid was able to tie it around him, go under the boat, back to the backside, in the thing, up in there. Like I'm like, why is this rope magically like 100 feet now?
Yeah, and why did the explosion magically kill some of the fish?
That's what I don't get. I don't get that part at all.
I
didn't
don't.
either.
I didn't know that there was like waterproof walkie-talkies either.
I didn't
That
either.
floated.
Neither did I.
I was like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when he gets in the water with him, like, the fuck are you like? Okay, well, that's just ruined. And he's like, I'm like, what? It still works.
I
Like,
know.
What the fuck?
And then when he says in 10 seconds and their 10 seconds were completely off.
Oh, I know.
Well, they had trouble.
And they didn't even start the. I'm like, no, if it's 10 seconds, you start the boat at 1.
yeah, like, why did you ever turn it off? Was my
Yeah.
question.
Like you're ready at 10. We don't turn the boat on at 10.
And then
yeah,
go.
like, what the fuck? Like, why'd you even turn it off, you douche? Like,
No, Benji Wyatt. He's out there ruining things.
it's not very nautical.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't get with the explosion is how
That's
all
the
of a
only thing
sudden-
this movie fucking needed, like pirates to show up for no reason. Like the underground, like his underground sunken pirate ship shows up, and it's the you've opened Davy Jones's locker, you dumb bastards.
One Eye Willie's boat comes out of the side.
That would have been a thing to see.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, but still, though, that explosion all of a sudden kills all of them.
It kills a big chunk of them, and like it shows when they explode, like some sort of like seismic thing come out.
It seemed like it
That
was a
they put in.
shockwave, but I don't even
Yeah.
think that shockwave would have been enough to kill them.
Because it just like they all just start bleeding from their mouth, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
happened? That explains nothing.
And they're like, look,
Yeah, no.
Jake,
after
you did
that,
it. You killed
this
them all.
whole love triangle thing. After they get pulled through and he rescues her, like his arm would have been ripped off by the
Oh,
fucking
for
way.
sure.
Like when they
Dislocated.
get up and he's like, "You are so fucking me now." Or, God
Right?
damn it!
We are boning. as
None
soon
more
as
of
we
this
get home.
shit. Like, guys, not in front of the kids. Shut up, mom.
Shut up, Mom. I know I've got mine coming
I've been
right
through
now.
a lot.
Fucking anger bang this bitch right now.
I've been through a lot.
Bring back.
But then we get one more Christopher Lloyd cameo where he calls and he's like, those were just the babies.
There's no fish sticks
There's no fish sticks. And then Benji
or
Wyatt.
hoo-has.
And I don't know if Benji Wyatt actually dies, but it's assumed, right? That the mama.
You would
Well,
think you'd eat
if
him.
the huge
The mama piranhas.
it was like a dolphin-sized piranha. Like,
It was so bad. It just comes out of nowhere.
Peralfin.
and
Out of nowhere.
eats him.
the Peralfin. Let's make that fucking movie.
And so, like, are they all dead? Do those piranhas just jump on the boat and eat everybody? Or
Yeah,
does Benji
you-
Wyatt get it?
I
don't
guess
know.
we're going to have to watch 3DD.
I'm okay.
3 double D.
Or was it Double D? Or
Double
just
D.
Piranha Double D.
All right, let's get into final thoughts because
I hated
Paul
the
needs
fucking.
tacos.
I hated the fucking. I mean, it was gonna have those obligatory like, here's a 3D point shit to the camera shot because we didn't watch it in 3D, but that was like, these are just so bad still. Like,
my final thoughts are this movie has great gore. I love the gore parts. I would probably watch this movie. It was just the beach scene. It would have made it better for me because I feel the rest. There was a lot of parts to this movie that were unnecessary. But it's a good time. I think with Piranha 3D, you know what you're getting. You're not going into it. I mean, like, yeah, this is a thinker. So I think if you're in the mood for gore,
there's no hidden meaning.
there's no hidden meaning. If you want to see some tits, some labias, and some CGI dicks,
3 minutes of labia.
and then just a shit ton of blood, this movie is for you. Ignore the slight pedophilic undertones and
You're not going in here looking for great acting either.
No.
Especially from any of the beach like party goers, because there was
no.
there
Watch
was a,
them. It's entertaining. They
there was
cannot dance.
yeah. Watch the scene, like all the beach scenes. Can we just cut this movie down to the beach scenes?
Just the
We
beach
can.
douches,
yeah, like
man.
let's just do that. Like cut the movie
Let's
down to the
honor
beach
those
scenes.
beach douches.
and just watch them, like some of them like in the background, like watch them dance and just like you.
We
are
should
just
like
not
focus in
even-
on certain ones.
Yeah, well, there's a few I think of, but no, there was a scene in the boat right before we get Sheriff. I'm just gonna call her Sheriff. Like
Yeah.
before we get Sheriff Julie Forrester, like when she gets the call that the boat's sinking, when she does her whole fucking sheriff obstacle course and she's jumping on
Oh, I
shit.
love when she's jumping
and
off
she
of the
jumps
boat.
on that tube and like swims the last part over, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, she gets that call, and there's a guy in the background who's like laying in the front of the boat, and he's convulsing, and he's just kind of like. And it's terrible. I'm like, he is just like putting no effort into it. He crossed his eyes and is just kind of shaking a little bit. Like you just look like a cold crackhead in the fucking corner somewhere. Like it's not even that you're in shock or anything.
Someone get him a blanket.
I'm glad you reset that part because you're like, he's just like this. And I was like, nobody can see him.
Well, I was going to describe it.
Okay, good. Well, you did. So I'm glad you went back
Paul
and
was shaking.
described it.
I understand we have listeners
Good,
and not
okay.
viewers. Okay.
Good. I'm glad.
All right. Well, I'll put it on TikTok so everybody can see it
There
then.
you go.
There you go,
All
record
right.
it.
So are you done with your final thoughts?
Watch this movie just for the beach scenes. The Greg Nicotero stuff on the beach scenes are great. A lot of the gore, a lot of the practical effects are just amazing. You can definitely see his style. Like Saul was saying earlier, you can definitely see if you look at these older movies, you've seen everything he's done in The Walking Dead, and you see this, and you definitely see like his signature style and like just the way that he approaches everything. Like Angie said, like anatomically, like how would this work if this really did happen, kind of thing. So definitely the beach scenes are great for the gore. Overall, the movie is just stupid fun.
And the
it's one
cameos
of
are
those,
fun.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. Like I said, if it's the Sleepaway Camp 3, and you're in that kind of fucking mood, like fuck it, I don't care. I just want to watch a terrible kind of just cheesy, horror movie. So
Sleepaway Camp 3.
that's that's Teenage Wasteland, isn't it?
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Hey, if you're in the mood for that, watch Piranha 3D.
It'll get you in the mood like it gets me in the mood.
Spooky mood.
You're gonna get spooky.
Okay. I'm on the same boat with you guys as far as what this movie is. To me, you don't really need to watch the entire movie. If you want to watch this movie, just watch it for the beach scene, which is the last maybe 20 minutes, if that.
15, 20 minutes.
Watch that. You don't need all this exposition on what you can pretty much figure out what the hell happened.
So much exposition for the stupidity
Yeah,
of this
that's all you
movie.
need.
A beer
That's all
bottle.
you
Okay,
need.
here's that. A beer bottle causes an earthquake. Old
You don't
piranhas
even
come up.
You don't even need that. All
They
you
eat Jerry O'Connell's dick, and then a bunch of people on the beach. Ving Rhames kills them he motorboats them,
Yeah.
Motorboats
and
them?
then we get Sheriff do an obstacle course to a boat where the
And Benji Wyatt dies.
parasailing tits died, and Jake comes up with a stupid plan with a floating walkie-talkie, and the movie's over.
That's it. So
And then they're like, there is no genitals. And then he's like, well, where are the parents? And then he's dead.
So instead of watching
the
this movie
movie,
for
everyone.
an hour and a half, just watch like the last 20 minutes. You get everything. That's the best part of the movie is the whole beach scene, the whole lake end of it. That's pretty much what you need.
And then you avoid all those weird pedophilic undertones.
You
so
avoid
there
all
you
that
go.
stuff. It's like
And
I said,
half the
that's all
story,
you
'cause
need.
there's-
Watch the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie if you want to watch this movie. You don't need all this other fluff for it.
Nope.
The best part of the movie is the massacre at the end, and that's what makes this movie redeemable. You see all of what Greg Nicotero is known for. You appreciate that, and you don't need all the other stupid story stuff.
No, if you want to
Watch it
watch
for
a
that.
porn, go watch a porn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. I don't need a porn in the middle of my horror movie. I mean, some tits and ass, go for it. But
just
like a
watch
whole
the
porn,
last-
I'm like, meh.
Just watch the last 15, 20 minutes of it,
Yeah.
and then you'll enjoy the movie. You don't, like I said, you don't need the hour and 20 minutes or whatever need be beforehand. Watch the last 15, 20 minutes of it, and you'll love the movie. And that was Piranha.
Yep, that was Piranha. I think that's it for this week. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're now on TikTok, even though we really haven't learned how to use it, but we're figuring it out.
Watch a YouTube video on how to use it. The how-to.
The how-to.
I'm going to start writing my new movie, Peralfin.
About
we got Piranhacondas and all that shit.
Piranhacondas.
Peralfins. Perever. It's a piranha beaver.
Yep.
Let's make
And
that
then
hybrid.
next week is St. Patrick's Day for you folks by the time you hear this. So we will be doing Leprechaun with Warwick Davis and Jennifer Aniston's original nose. So,
You're a horrible person.
Francis.
She's found peace with herself. Okay.
hey, and more power to her.
And, millions of dollars helps.
It does. But like I said, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can, if you have comments, questions, concerns, you can email us at podcast@scarynerd.com. Make sure to leave us a review because we really don't know how you guys feel about this show. So if you're listening, please review us and tell us if you like what we're doing. If you do not like what we're doing,
Then fuck you.
Or if you want Paul to go away, you just tell me that. Leave me a note. It's okay. I only get that.
Hey, I'm the heart of the show.
But that is it for this week, guys. We will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
They ate his penis.
He tells us multiple times.
Wear a t-shirt.